Hello, welcome back to the Stained Canvas. Today I felt like, drawing or painting some fall trees. So I found this on Pixabay. It's a free picture website, and I just want to take the center of those trees. I want it to be kind of orangey and misty for fall time. It's feeling very cool right now where I'm at, and the leaves are all golden. So I figured this would be a good, kickoff to the fall time for me. So the first step, what I'm doing, I have my piece of watercolor paper taped down, and I'm getting cad yellow and cad red, and I'm mixing cad orange with those two colors. Now, if you like a different kind of yellow, you can go ahead and use that. And just any other kind of red that you feel like you want to put with it. I'm also going to be using some burnt umber, but not at this moment in time for this painting. So the first thing you want to do is leave a light spot in the center vertically in your painting. Then you're going to go with the yellow, and you're going to kind of make it curvy because this is like where the light source is, like light through the trees, the sun setting kind of deal. And so you want it to be very bright, kind of in the center. And for brightness, we're using the yellow. Then you're going to go make two strips down the center with the yellow. Then you're going to take the orange that you've pre-mixed, or if you have cad orange, that'll work too. You can use that, right beside the yellow. And mind you, this is watercolor, so the more watercolor you put on, because we want these colors to be deep, so you're going to keep applying them. Red is right on the edges of the painting, and then it goes orange, and then the center is yellow. So you can make this as intense of colors as you want. You'll see I'm just going to continue doing this, and by the time I'm done, it's really nice saturated in color, and you can clearly see the yellow in the center, and then it gets darker towards the edges going towards the red. So we're just kind of doing a wash kind of like that, but instead of up down, we're doing center side. So here's the finalized kind of wash. I'm going to just add a floor, like not a floor, but of the forest floor. We're going to just leave it at the bottom fourth of the painting, so the bottom, and I'm adding some of the cad red with some burnt umber because I don't want this to be too brown. I want it to be brown, yes, but we're just kind of right at this point in time figuring out where the earth is. I'm tilting my board like this because I want my paint to flow down. I don't want it pooling up at the top where trees and things like that are going to stay. I really want it to just be pooled at the bottom, and I don't really like how light the earth is, so I'm actually grabbing more burnt umber. I'm just gonna keep adding it, and it blends in with what's already there. And mind you, this is wet on wet, so I haven't let anything dry, and it's just going to meld together really beautifully. And you see here, I have a cloth, and whatever's dripping down to the bottom, I'm just tidying that up a bit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let this dry. And this part is where I lost some footage, but I'll just explain what I did. Very, very light burnt umber, washed out, lots of water added to it to make the far trees. Now, the far trees are washed out in light, and that's why they are lighter in color. And as you see, these trees I'm painting right now are kind of in the middle ground. So they will be more saturated with the burnt umber. They're going to be darker. And the trees that you make that are closer to you are also going to be even darker than these center ones, and they're going to be bigger because this is all about perspective, right? So the farther away trees are from you in this painting, they're going to be very thin and very light. Then the middle ground are going to be a little bit bigger than the very light ones. And then you're going to have the really large trees that are much, much darker than any of the others right at your face. So right now, all I'm doing is adding in where I feel like I want my tree trunks and my branches. And mind you, the little ones are far away. They are not going to be very detailed whatsoever. So we're not worrying about like shadows on those far trees or anything like that. once we add the shadows to the closer trees, everything is going to come together quite nicely, and it's going to feel, I don't know, it's going to feel more real. It's going to be more of a detail up close to you. So you see here, I darkened one side. So I'm going to darken this entire tree I have right now. But the way to figure out where the shadow goes on a tree or a tree stump or any kind of painting you're doing is you have your light source, which is the center of the picture. Then the light is going to shine on the closest part of the branch or trunk or whatever of the tree. That side will be lighter, and the side opposite the light on the back end of the tree will be darker. So you'll see I'll go in the midground and a little bit on the trees that are kind of further away, but not too much, because those are like this one here I'm painting. It's very much far away, but I feel like it's not quite as far as the center ones, but it's getting there. So I do add a little variation in color. Same for this one here. It's the midground, middle ground, and we're just adding one side, opposite side of the bark as the light, and that's going to be the darker side of the trunk. Now you're going to do the same thing for any kind of branches coming off of any of these trees as well. Opposite side of the trunk that the light is on is going to be darker than the light side where the light would be shining. So we're just doing that. I'm also going to add, I feel like I want more smaller trees or further away trees. So I do periodically add in a little further of a tree and darken here and darken there. But now that I've darkened these two that you see, it makes it really look perspective-y. Like this tree here, as I'm darkening it, it makes the light ones farther away, and it really adds depth to a painting. Now this here is a tree right up close. It's like a tree right on your side. They're peeking over this tree essentially. And this is going to be one of the darker branches and trunks because it's so close to you. So it just adds more of that perspective, right? Stuff that's closer to you in a forest is going to be more darker and more detailed than something that's super far away from you. So now that we have our trunks in place, still, working on, you didn't let anything dry yet. We are mixing a little bit of the burnt umber, a little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow, and we're adding in like fallen leaves, right? And little bushes and little like tufts of grass. So we're going to go around each of the trunks very lightly, even the background ones, and a little bit in the front, and we're going to add little plops of color. Now the plops of color, we don't want to be too detailed. We just want to see like, oh, there's, some foliage there or some grasses there. And look here, I made a mistake. I didn't like that. So you can, if it's still wet, you could pull away with a drier brush. You have a dry brush, you just go over it and it pulls up any kind of paint that you don't want there. Now I'm going to go in and I'm just going to, add the darks, add all these little speckly type things to make it look like bushes, darken up some sides of the trees, getting it all good. I also go in and on the very horizon, I'm going to add some like leafy bushes type of thing. So here you see, I'm adding the dark shadows on the opposite side of where the light would be. And I'll do it on this one too. So opposite side on that branch there. And I'm going to kind of darken up a little bit the bottoms here. So this is where I'm going in and I'm trying to just fish out where I want this forest to have foliage. So here we go around the bases. I'm going to do a little thing in the background also. Make sure to try and get every trunk because, trees fall down, or not trees fall down, but leaves fall straight down sometimes. So we want to make it look like there's more depth on the ground. And all I'm doing is speckling. Like I'm just tapping my brush. I'm not rubbing it anywhere. I'm not drawing it in. Just enough to show different color, different variations in value in this area. Making it all, different colored. So this background where I'm at right now, I'm trying to do very light bushes because again, it would be like the trees, very far away in the center, kind of where there's light, like where that yellow paint we put is like the light. So you want to make some bushes back there, but you want them to be very, very washed out, not really washed out, but lighter. And here we are getting on to just some last minute little things that I'm liking here. And then adding, different values, different variations to these bushes in the background. The more little details you do on the ground, the better it's going to look in the end. So here we are. And then after, when you're satisfied with how many leaves you have and all the bushes and stuff, what you're going to do is you're just going to let that dry. And then you're going to peel off all the paint or all the tape, rather tape, and see how your painting went. I think it turned out really great. It's very fall. It's exactly what I wanted. And I hope you liked making it with me. And I will talk to you guys next time on the stained canvas. So bye for now.